Barry Biggleswade.
Do you know him?
Barry Biggleswade?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's my best mate.
Big boy Barry.
Chicken tikka masala, chicken dansak, sagaloo,
Gobaloo. No, was it?
aloo gobi.
Aloo Gobi.
Right, enough of culinary delights from India. Welcome to the Men Read PDF video of the KTM Super Adventure 1390. No, I've screwed up already.
Get ready for this. It's the 2025 KTM 1390 Super Adventure S EVO. Stick that in your... No, stick a...
Boiled sweet in your mouth and say Kuala Lumpur.
Yeah.
Taking the accolade of being the most technologically advanced adventure machine in the KTM wheelhouse, the 2025 KTM 1390 Super Adventure S EVO doesn't only move the goalpost, it simply obliterates the playing field.
That is a bold statement. Let's just get straight to the sort of key facts, shall we? I mean, well, first impressions. What do you reckon?
It looks better than the last one.
Yeah, I mean, not all of... I don't think there's one really good, sexy-looking adventure bike, is there?
No.
I mean, it's on the handsome side. There's certain views you go, particularly the side-on profile, you go, that's actually quite handsome. But it's, yeah, I agree. It's definitely better looking than the last one.
I mean, it's still very unmistakably a Super Adventure, isn't it? Unmistakably.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's almost got a little bit of triumph in the headlight there. Forget the mandibular.
Yeah, it's less. That robot face is very. It's less of a sort of gaper. Now it's more of a genuine robot face, isn't it?
I think they could have almost gone more extreme with it, but anyway. But
I mean, how really?
Yeah,
really.
But I'm assuming this has got all sorts of cornering, like ABS.
Oh yeah.
Ding dongs and stuff. So there's obviously a function to its form.
So let's get some key facts out of the way before we delve into the PDF. So the clues in the name, 1390. So of course it's not a real 1390. It gets hiked up from 1300cc to 1350cc. You get about a 10 horsepower increase up to 170 horsepower and 145 newton meters of torque.
I don't really. I always like in terms of newton meters of torque. My brain just switches off. Is that a lot?
That's a lot.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a hell of a lot. Yeah.
I've already forgotten the number. What was it?
145. It's essentially the Super Duke engine with the cam shift, not the chocolate cam, the cam shift technology. And it's obviously not the same peaky Super Duke engine. It's, been sort of retuned, if you like, for adventure bits and bobs.
But I'm sure it's still got that KTM wildness within it.
Absolutely. But the big news, this is the big news, AMT. I mean, everyone's doing it, aren't they?
Yeah, it's just, there must have been some internal press release between all the manufacturers to go, the 2024 is the year of clutchless handlebars.
Yeah. Well, yes. Automatic transmission, yes. Clutchless, there's a few. I mean, you said it, you've kind of put it out there already. There is no clutch, and that deeply saddens me. Especially like bikes like the KTM and an MT-09, you need a clutch.
The bit that's a little bit strange is that they've just, if you want the top spec bike, which if you're an affluent fellow or young lady and you want the daddy with all the stuff on, you need the Evo, right?
Well, this is it.
Because the Evo, it's only clutchless.
Yes.
Clutch leverless.
Exactly.
It's only manual automatic transmission.
Yes.
So they're putting a lot on that.
Yeah, I mean, not strangely. The standard 1390 Super Adventure S isn't. I mean, we know it's coming, but we don't know exactly. We know that it hasn't got the AMT, but we don't know what level of suspension and trickery you're going to get with that. So you're right. Yeah, if you want the full daddy, then you're going to have AMT. Which, yeah, it would be nice to have an option. I think, wouldn't it?
I think so.
Yeah. But then again, it might come with, the standard model. The non-Evo might come with everything this bike has minus the AMT. We don't know yet.
But then maybe motorcycles are getting so good at riding themselves. Do you even need a clutch anyway?
No, I need a clutch. Definitely need a clutch. Definitely. I mean, there's merits for having a rear brake, a BMX style brake on the left hand side if you're on track and whatever else. But no, we all need a clutch, don't we? The clutch, like keyless ignition, like with the key, the clutch had a perfectly good home. No?
I don't know. I'm on the fence about it. I haven't ridden any of the latest incarnates of the automatic transmissions. But the more and more I think about it, when I do ride a manual bike, it is quite annoying.
Well, I mean, this,
and I think it's going to be when you get when you've got in a car, when you've been driving a car for a while with flappy paddles. You can still shift whenever you want.
Yeah,
but it's just in traffic, and this is a touring. But let's face it, most people are going to tour on this. They're not going to go off road and need the clutch to do the sort of clever stuff that you need to get out of holes. But so maybe it will work. Time
will tell. But I mean, it's impossible to stall for starters, which is great.
Very good.
It's basically a recluse clutch. Anyone who's ridden with a recluse clutch off road or on road, like the MV whatever it was, it's brilliant. It's not for everyone, but it still is brilliant. But it's not. I suppose I was about to say you're not going to do any commuting on this, but there's going to be plenty of people commuting on this, aren't there?
But then, if you think about how many accidents, how many people have dropped their bike because they're pulling out of a junction, they've stalled it.
Yeah,
it's probably the most common bike accident, isn't it?
Yeah,
oh no, dropped it.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
So that's never going to happen. Has it got a push foot lever?
Yes, it has.
It has.
Yeah.
So you can still shift with your toes.
You can still shift with your toes or
your fingers.
Yeah, you can. It's basically a paddle shift on a bike. So you've got parking, neutral, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in that order. So to stop there being any mechanical issues, which is brilliant. I think all bikes should have that. Like race bikes do. All race bikes, even BSB British Superbikes, have that, so that you don't get a false neutral or a neutral in between first and second. So just for clarity, you get the parking is for parking brake, which is not actually a parking brake as such, but it's brought to you by the gearbox itself rather than the brake. So in terms of the mechanicals, you get an electric mechanical shift actuator, which actually moves the shift drum, not the shift lever, which is very different to the Yamaha system. And I've actually, spoiler, I've actually ridden the prototype over in Austria at the factory when we were over there a few weeks ago. So it was a very rough prototype. The paddle shift wasn't really working very well. It sort of flipped round every time you pressed the button. It sort of flipped halfway around the handlebar. But it was, it's still unmistakably, from the prototype I've ridden, a Super Adventure S. It's just got more power, the automatic gearbox. But also something that is also definitely worth noting, and the first thing I picked up is, when you've ridden previous Super Adventures, like Panigales, they get a bit flighty, but it's like rowing for Oxford. You get a sort of like flighty bar when you're under hard acceleration, and there's nothing you can do about it. Well, they've apparently addressed this, and I felt it with a reworked frame stiffness.
Interesting. I always thought that was down to almost like a pumping, like a shock pump sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, it could be. They thought, well, let's make it a bit more stable. It's to improve handling and stability, which, look, I mean, there's nothing... in many ways...
It was the best handling...
In terms of sporting...
sporting adventure bike.
Yes.
Yeah. In my opinion, the previous one was too sporty. I know, because we did that big test a year or so ago, and it's quite intense. It takes a bit out of you.
Yeah, especially jumping after the GS or even the Multistrada, which is essentially a superbike, sort of dulled down superbike. But yeah, I agree. Intense is definitely the word. Yeah. If you want to look as peng as us, who wouldn't, and want to win an RX-7V EVO for free, then head over to apex66.co.uk for your golden chance. There's a link in description. Did I mention it's free?
It's also interesting, I'll just say this, there's no actual pictures of it in an adventure environment.
No.
They're all on the track.
No.
I mean, fair enough, he's going through the gravel.
Yeah, it's bizarre, isn't it? It is bizarre. I mean, I guess that's KTM, isn't it?
I think that's where, look at where they're aiming it at. It's a super fast touring bike.
Yeah.
Which you can go over some rough stuff if you want.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, certainly for road stuff only, that's the test we've done. That's the bike that I'd have chosen to do the fast stuff, because I like going fast and acting like a bit of a dick, should we say? But
then they all are. They're all SUVs, aren't they?
Yes.
They're all luxury SUVs, and that's fine. I haven't got a problem with that. If you want most of the middleweight stuff is where the adventure scene is now. Anyway.
Talking of sort of the cockpit and everything else, we're looking on the screen now. The dash, what do you reckon?
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
So this is a touchscreen, 8.8
Oh,
inch
it's touchscreen.
Touchscreen.
Oh, I don't like it as much now. I mean, I suppose you don't have to touch it.
No, you don't have to touch it. You can still faff around.
But my experience, like, you try. Like,
What are you doing?
But I don't like. I don't know. Taking your hands off the handlebars to touch the screen, and when you're going over bumps and stuff, and you I don't know. I'm yet to use it, so I'm not going to comment. I'm not going to poo-poo it just yet. But maybe if you're parked up at the cafe and you're plumbing in your sat nav, it might be quite useful. But
yeah, I mean, it remains to be seen. That KTM reckons that the thickest of gloves will not be a hassle. But when you got those really thick winter gloves on,
Yeah.
and you got like an inch of sort of
play
either way, the front, side, back,
yeah,
whatever,
it's like
and
the
you're
bearings are gone.
Yeah, you're sort of poking around the screen. I mean,
I can't even flick an indicator with thick gloves.
No,
So-
it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, but I like the portrait layout.
Yeah, I mean, really, we've kind of touched on the sort of major subjects. I mean, the other thing is that I mentioned or haven't mentioned is the tech stuff. So there's a new Bosch radar. You've got all the new ride modes, connectivity features, and KTM's latest adaptive cruise control with obviously braking assistance, collision warning, distance warning to its arsenal. I mean, that's a lot of warnings. It's like when you drive the vans, the VW van, you just go, you're coming up to a perfectly safe situation, and it just slams on the brakes and goes beep.
I know. It does
That
worry
scares me.
It does.
It not just worries me; it scares me.
It does worry me. My car, it's got the car collision detection thing, but it doesn't actually apply the brakes. Thank God. But I was just driving along the other day, and there was just a car passing on the other side of the road,
Yeah.
and it was like, "Hey, you're going to hit the car!" So and interestingly, I was chatting to a client the other day, and they live in London, and they've got just outside their house, there's like a row of parked cars sort of thing, and there's been 3 accidents in the past 6 months where people keep crashing into the parked cars, and it's really weird. It never happened before, but what they reckon is it's lane assist. Because you'll be driving along and you'll go over the lane to just overtake these parked cars, and then the car goes no, and then they just hammer it into the cars.
It makes sense. I said like the other day, a while ago, if you get too close to a Mercedes, if you get too close to it, it brakes. So
it brake checks you.
Yeah.
Like the biggest twat move you can do on a motorway.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that would be like an Audi or a BMW. BMW. move.
No, Mercedes are more like, I'm on the way to the golf club, or to pick someone up from the airport at 3 a.m. in an Uber.
Yeah, it's just this sort of thing. I'm all for new technology. I love it, but there's got to be a point where you just go, I don't want that on the bike.
And how much does it cost?
Well, this is it. I mean, we don't know. We're not sure if this is kind of standard fitment or with the old KTM kind of, it comes with the bike and you've got to buy it if you fancy it. So,
yeah, I mean, I imagine it does add quite a considerable bit to the price.
I'd imagine
price
so.
of the
Yeah,
bike,
especially this stuff
to develop it all.
Yeah. Well, other than the fact that it's going to be in dealers from Feb 25, I think that's kind of the main giblets, if you like. So
that's the gusset.
That is the gusset.
What colour would you have?
Definitely the orange, the all orange. I don't like the white.
No.
The white one is a bit. It's a bit kind of tracksuit awareness campaign.
I don't know. I don't know actually. I'd probably get the white one actually, just to be different. Great.
Thanks for watching.